arrested for DUI and not driving the car? Now, officers show up at your house and say, someone reported you for bad driving. Now, they can't arrest you if they didn't see you driving, right? Well, the answers to that question is yes. They can arrest you even if they didn't see you driving. Now, let's talk about how this can happen. I'm DUI and criminal defense attorney George McCranie. I have offices in Valdosta and Douglas, Georgia. We've helped thousands of people and their families across Georgia that have been charged with crimes. And if you or someone you know has been charged with a crime in Georgia, give us a call. We'll be glad to help you. We'll be glad to get you answers to your questions. And all you have to do is you can Facebook message us, the George McCranie Law Firm, on Facebook Messenger, or you can call us at 833-927-6227, and we'll help you get the answers that you need. Now, let me give you an example about driving and not being seen by law enforcement. You're at home watching a ball game with friends. There's a knock on the door, and an officer asks your name and says someone called and reported you for bad driving. Now, the first thing that you think and the first thing you might say is, you didn't see me driving, so you can't arrest me. Now, unfortunately, that's not true. The government can arrest and prosecute you for crimes, even DUI, without seeing you drive. Now, how is it possible? All an officer needs to arrest and prosecute you is probable cause that a crime was committed, and you're the person who probably did it. Now, probable cause is a very low standard, and it really just means that it's more likely than not. So the government doesn't have to prove that you committed the crime. It's just that it's likely you committed the crime to arrest you. Now, to convict you of the crime, the government has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. And they have to present evidence that you're actually the person who committed the crime that you're charged with. Now, this doesn't mean that they have to prove beyond all doubt, all right? Just beyond a reasonable doubt of a fair-minded juror. So, if they didn't see you commit a crime, what evidence do they use to convict you of that crime? All right, here's the evidence. Here it is. Are you ready? The government uses people's words. Every day, the government prosecutes and convicts people with the only evidence being testimony as to what the person saw and what the person heard. No video, no DNA, no fingerprints, just people's words. Now, here's the rub. People get arrested like this every day. Arrested and prosecuted for crimes that law enforcement didn't actually see. The problem is that these folks are facing all the power and the might of the government in the criminal court system. They're facing officers that have been trained, gone to classes, and learned how to testify in court. And they're facing government prosecutors that are trained and experienced on how to prosecute criminal cases just like this. Now, after practicing criminal law for 25 years, I understand how important it is for defendants to understand the Georgia criminal court system. They need to understand how it works and what can happen when they make important decisions in their cases. Now, that's why I wrote my fourth book, The Truth About Your Georgia Criminal Case. Now, my book explains how a case works its way through the Georgia criminal court system and explains in easy to understand terms important issues that folks should be aware of. And if you'd like a free copy of my book, The Truth About Your Georgia Criminal Case, use Facebook Messenger and message the George McCranie Law Firm or call us at 833-927-6227 and we'll send you a free copy. Now, my publisher has a limited number of copies available, so don't delay. Get in touch with us. We'll send you a free copy. Now, let me ask you, do you think an average person stands a real chance of getting the charges dismissed or getting a not guilty verdict at trial when they haven't been trained to be a lawyer? They don't know the ins and outs of the Georgia criminal court system. They don't know the Georgia rules of evidence and procedure. or even they don't even know how to properly and effectively ask questions in court. Now, in this type of case, their best defense is to have the most effective criminal defense attorney that's available to them in their corner. All right. The attorney who represents you is your best defense in this type of situation in any criminal charge. Now, we've represented folks in this exact situation and saved them from being convicted by aggressive government prosecutors. Done it many times. And we have offices in Valdosta and Douglas, Georgia. But you don't have to come to us. We'll meet with you virtually. And you won't have to worry about the drive to our offices, spending all that gas money, or forgetting some important document that you needed to bring with you and forgotten leaving it at home. We'll make it easy for you to learn what the George McCranie Law Firm can do for you. Now, the sad part about these type charges is that the people have to hire attorneys to represent them in the first place. But the tragedy is the people that don't have effective lawyers often get convicted. Now remember, in Georgia, if you're convicted of a crime, that conviction will never come off of your criminal record. A conviction can haunt you for decades, affecting your education, such as receiving grants and scholarships, can affect people wanting to get or having professional certificates like nurses or teachers. It causes sky-high car insurance rates, life insurance rates, and often it can prevent you from either getting or succeeding or getting promotions at all kinds of jobs. Now, I understand that hiring an attorney can be a big investment, but not hiring an attorney can wind up costing way more than the investment. For example, it could cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we had a guy that owned a trucking company that came to us that thought he could represent himself at trial. And after all, he thought that the DUI charge wasn't a big deal and he could handle it himself. So he didn't hire us to represent him, didn't hire anybody to represent him. The long story short is he didn't hire the attorney. He lost his CDLs. And because he lost his CDLs, he's lost his entire trucking company, his entire life's work. So it was terrible. So if you or someone you know has been charged with a crime in Georgia or injured in an accident, message the George McCranie Law Firm on Facebook Messenger or call us at 833-927-6227 and we'll be happy to get you the answers that you need in your case. Thank you for watching my video.